What it is, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I have a conspiracy theory for you. And I'm sorry to say I'm going to have to debunk it. I'll tell you about what the theory was in case you didn't watch my other channel. In case you're watching me, let's make this as simple as possible. I'm live right now on Lift the Veil Live. If you're watching anywhere other than Lift the Veil Live on replay, then that's where you can find my live shows on YouTube. I'm also live right now on Twitch at twitch.tv/lifttheveil411. We're going to be going for an extended broadcast after this part of the episode is over on YouTube. We'll be going over to Twitch. So go ahead and start downloading that app for your phone right now, or get ready, or preload the website if you like, or just switch and watch over there. We already have a number of people tuned in on that network. The reason I tell you about it is I could be pulled at any time from broadcasting live. And I did post a video about this subject on my main channel, Lift the Veil, because I can upload there again now. It was deleted, could be deleted, just for talking about this, even though I'm going to debunk a conspiracy theory. The theory is, or not the theory, the story is that the March for Our Lives rally was planned months in advance, which would put the timing of the application for the March for Our Lives event before the actual school shooting on February 14th. This is big news in the conspiracy world, in the right-wing world, in the gun rights world. It's all over Twitter. I'm going to show you it. First, let me run an ad for my sponsor, which is me, with Truth Clothing, Truth Revolution Clothing. We make t-shirts like this one, Truth Matters. We also make some other really cool designs. That's at truthclothing.io, which looks like this when you visit. This is Truth Revolution Clothing, truthclothing.io. These are the 3 featured t-shirts right now, mostly real, Truth Matters, and Russian Bot. Just got another shipment of Russian Bot tees because they were pretty popular. I actually sent out 6 this morning that were piled up from waiting for the new batch, all the way to Australia in one case. This, you can also get Doshi stickers, coffee mugs, other stickers. It's actually great stuff. Thanks for everybody who's telling me good stuff about it. Cheap shipping, no sales tax. Support the show. That's the main thing. You can also do that by donating. Patreon.com/lifttheveil or paypal.me/lifttheveil. But a lot of people like to get something that they can wear for a long time. So I make the commercials pretty short, actually. Here's the news. I saw it on Twitter. If you go to Twitter right now, I'm going to show you in real time. I didn't test this out before the show. If you go there right now, you can look up Parkland months before. That's what I'm putting in. Parkland months before. And here from 51 minutes ago from Millennial Matt, who I believe has a pretty big following. Almost 10,000 followers. Millennial Matt says, Washington, D.C. police confirm March for Our Lives was planned months in advance, long before Parkland, Florida shooting took place. This is strange considering the word "our" in March for Our Lives refers to students. Oh, and this refers to the Hal Turner radio show website, FBI informant Hal Turner, who gave us the news about the MEU raid on the CIA, which was fake news. Here are some more tweets. March for Our Lives permit applied for a month before Parkland. Many more tweets saying something very similar, some with a copy of an email purporting to show exactly what they're saying. This one linked to Hal Turner. Another one of the links linked to this, Fellowship of the Mind. That's a blog with conspiratorial type content, I guess you could say. This headline here is application for March for Our Lives permit was made months before Parkland school shooting. They give you some background on who who theoretically planned the event, which was always students, even though we know there had to be a major outside guiding force to put on these giant rallies all around the country. The official story is that the entire movement was organized by kids in their parents' living rooms. Never Again MSD is the group, MSD referring to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. They started on social media and used the hashtag Never Again. In any case, the story is that, I'll quote from this, European political researcher Ole Damegard contacted the Metropolitan D.C. Police Department concerning the permit for the March for Our Lives demonstration in Washington, D.C. Damegard received this email from Officer Scott C. Earhart of the Homeland Security Bureau of the Metropolitan Police Department. Here's the text of that email. Below here is a screenshot of the email, and I get the source here. This is where I figured out where this story started. Professor James Fetzer, Jim Fetzer, and I'll talk about Ole Damegard first, kind of a friend of Jim Fetzer. Ole Damegard is a guy that appears on a lot of different, you could call him conspiracy theorist, or shows that talk about things that might be false flags or hoaxes or what have you. Claims that a lot of the events that we see in real life are staged, or they are drills gone live. Jim Fetzer likewise claims that in most of these type of events, like the Parkland school shooting, that nobody died. Similar to Conspiracy Granny and Side Thorn also make similar claims. Jim Fetzer in particular was tied up in the YouTube purge when he appeared on Richie Allen's show, saying that the Parkland story was ridiculous and that nobody died and it was all staged. And subsequent to that interview, Richie Allen's channel was taken off of YouTube, was completely terminated. Let me show you the source article. That's here on jamesfetzer.blogspot.com, Jim Fetzer's website or blog, titled yesterday, titled The Demonstration Permit, The Raw Deal, and Ole and Jim on False Flags. The smoking gun for a gun control scam. And then a screenshot of this email here, which I went over in my video previously on my other channel just earlier today, because I had some problems with grammar and syntax. Basically, what the email says, I'll read from part of it. MPD received a permit application several months prior to the actual event, and there were several months of planning for this large event. That's the most important part of the email. There are some, like I said, grammatical and syntax errors, but we're going to forget about those for now. I just had a question of whether this could possibly be real, this email, who it was written to. They say it was a communication with Ole Damegard. The to address is blacked out, which would be strange because I would assume Ole has his email address public the way Jim Fetzer does. In any case, I emailed Jim Fetzer to ask him for more information about the provenance of the email. I also emailed this Scott Earhart to ask him if he wrote the email, and if he did, if he could please clarify what he meant by several months prior to the event, and if he could give an exact or approximate date for when that happened. I have not heard a response from Mr. Fetzer or Mr. Earhart as of right now. As of right now, however, there may be no need to ask for a response, because it looks like, based on my crowdsourced intelligence, let me stop those notifications. Based on my crowdsourced intelligence from a message I got on Twitter, as a matter of fact, I was linked to a document which appears genuine and appears to solve this question of whether the event was scheduled. Oh, this is odd. Yeah, no, it's okay. Some of the stuff is blacked out, which makes sense. This is the actual application for a permit. Application for a permit to conduct a demonstration or a special event in park areas. National Mall and Memorial Parks, Division of Permits Management. This is from www.nps.gov. And it's from a FOIA request, it looks like, or it says FOIA upload in the URL. The important thing here is, I can zoom in so everybody can see. The important thing here is this date of application, February 20th, which, while more than a month ago from now, is 6 days after the February 14th, Valentine's Day shooting event at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, which unfortunately would debunk the theory that the march was planned well in advance of the shooting itself, and certainly well in advance of the actual event. This leads us to questions, okay? It's obviously it's a theory that a lot of people would want to jump onto. A lot of people who are pro Second Amendment, a lot of those people were more than willing to join along with people who might normally be considered part of the conspiracy crowd, people who have said, people might say the moon landings were fake, or people might say that 9/11 was an inside job. Maybe they don't believe that. They were inclined to believe that something was fishy about these shootings in Parkland, Florida. And I'm back to my search just because I wanted to see how many new results came up. We have 14 new results since I ran that search. And we have people still tweeting about it every few minutes. And that's just with the search I used. This is being spread around all over the internet. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to make people look stupid, really. And I wonder about this guy, Jim Fetzer, and maybe by extension, Ole Damagard. A lot of people have questions about those guys being controlled opposition. Was the email made up? Now I really want to know. Did they make up the email? Is it designed as a hit on truthers? Because I'm waiting for the article to come out. I'm waiting for somebody to take it as fact and run with it, and then suddenly get censored or kicked off some platform, or all of these accounts being accused of being Russian bots spreading fake news. I'm just waiting, because the inclination is, when you see news like this, when you see a picture of an email that appears to show that the March for Our Lives demonstration was planned in advance of the actual school shooting, that would be a smoking gun. That would be something you could show to somebody and say, oh my, how is it possible that the March for Our Lives event planned by these student activists would have been planned before the actual shooting? Now, oh, be quiet, you. Now, that wouldn't be true. Thank goodness for my crowdsourced researchers who got me this information so that I could solve the riddle. But unfortunate that we have something out there that's basically fake news, easily disprovable by pulling up that permit, which one of my sharp listeners, very intelligent, resourceful listeners, like most of you, was able to find on their own. And now I've shown you, and now we can just hide our heads in shame. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the next step is, but I did know that I had to report on it to set the record straight, as word is still traveling around. Hopefully people will see this and see what happened and not spread the word anymore. But it's hard to stop real fake news when it starts. It's unfortunate to be reporting on actual fake news. So what I'm going to do, I got everybody tuned in on YouTube. I was just here for a little while. We're going to flip over to Twitch, which is where I'm live all the time, and I do extra shows, and all the shows are saved It's a nice looking website. They have an app. You can download it for your phone. You can get notifications every time I go live, which isn't always on YouTube. That's at twitch.tv/lifttheveil411, or download the app and search for Lift the Veil or Lift the Veil 411. We have others on there like Hoax Wars, Titus Frost. So it's a full, fun place to hang out. So come join your friends over there and we'll continue the conversation. In the meantime, for YouTube, that is what it is.